2017. We're on a $111,000 clip over the year before that we just made it. Unfortunately, we couldn't determine that the flood was going to hit. We had to cancel a bunch of events in January, February, and March. We didn't open until April, and everybody knows April, May, and we just got, 2 weeks ago, we just started getting weather. We track our bad weather days. This year, 18 spring has been the worst spring with soil temperature, weather days of rain, wind, and cold since 1994. So we can't control that. No, and bringing in a new cook and bringing in some new operational ideas, no, that's not where we want to go, Councilman Johnson.
Mr. Willie. Between, the sportsplex and the golf course, at the end of the day, where are we at? I know the sportsplex is bringing in money. Is that bringing in enough to cover the cost of,
Offsetting
I don't want to continue to bleed money on these golf courses, but if the sportsplex I know recently had been doing really well, and if we're making enough to cover it, do we really need, that 400,000 though isn't 400 grand just for the, the deficit. Some of that money's for equipment and all that other stuff, or?
Correct. To the chair, Mr. Woolley. Mr. Woolley, yeah, you have to remember too on the sportsplex, it is a cash basis entity. It is an enterprise fund. We collect revenue, we pay expenses. TIFA pays the debt, and TIFA's been paying the major repairs and some of the capital things.
Yeah.
However, there is a track record and a financial statement that says it's well above 100, 150, there was a couple years over 200,000. So yes, if you did combine those numbers, golf and sportsplex would be positive. There's no doubt in my mind. However, there's no payments right now on the golf courses. They're paid for. But there is bond debt on the sportsplex that's being paid, and as well as capital expenditures, fixed assets, and improvements.
But the profits from the sportsplex would go into general fund, and then that would kind of offset the deficit in golf, if you're linking at the two of them, Jason? Or
through the chair.
How would it work? Why are we putting money?
Through the chair, the sportsplex is a department in the general fund. The revenues that come in and the expenses that go out are recorded in the general fund. If there's an excess of revenues over expenditures, it just flows through to unassigned or unrestricted fund balance. But to just point, I do remember the last few years at $100,000, $125,000, if you just look at those two departments, the ins, the outs, to the good. Backing up what he's stating with his particular comment.
Councilman Johnson?
So, going back to that, what you just stated, to the good, but if we took out all the money that TIFA has put into it, how far are we to the good in those 3 years? I mean, they funded TIFA for a while.
Yeah. So to the charity.
Are we, wait a minute, are they standing on their own? When I ran my company, at the end of the day, I had to stand on my own. I couldn't go to the bank and go, hey, just give me that money and I won't pay it back like 1.5 million. So, I mean, I just, are they standing on their own? Will they stand on their own without TIFA?
Mr. Govek.
Councilman Johnson, I understand that, but I don't think you built an $18.5 million entity to house your trucks and equipment. Unfortunately, the city
it's not, you know what? That is not even a comparable there. Because when it comes right down to it, it's about the bottom line.
Understood.
So, whether it's 18 million, whether it's a million, it don't matter.
Understood. But what I'm saying is the operating model of the sportsplex right now, we are collecting more revenue than we're putting expense out. The capital items that we inherited from a third party running our assets down, we're playing catch up. For 13 years, we're playing catch up of putting the improvements in and the maintenance that weren't done for 13 years. How else can we do that? I ask you.
Councilman Reserve?
Well, yeah, I'm wondering if there's a recommendation in all this, or Charlie, what are you saying we do?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know all the numbers. I mean, why do we, it seems like we were doing good. We were told we were doing good. We're doing this, we're doing that. And they just keep coming to TIFA, they keep coming to us. And I understand, 13 years old. But it's been 8 years that I know of. You've been here how long?
8 years.
8 years, yeah. Yeah,
In
okay.
8 years, when we inherited a deficit elimination plan,
Yeah, and we
7 years
forgave
ago.
1.5 million of it too.
what's that?
We forgave it 1.5 million.
That started in, I think.
You know, I think you do a great job, but at some point, what's the benefit? So I, you know.
Councilman Raymond?
Would you say within the last X amount of years, 4 or 5 years, what have we sustained as far as, because I think we all realize what is happening to sportsplexes as far as ice and stuff. Are we, in our position in the city right now, it's my understanding we're doing pretty darn good battling for ice because of the way ice is starting to kind of fall off, and we're holding our own within that and still being able to make money, even with a battle on the outside, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that comes for a couple reasons. Because of the investment we're putting in the building with the new compressors, the new LED lighting, the boards, the Zambonis, we can have good ice, which we are working on a multiple-year contract right now with Court Council and Bell Tire. We sat today with Taylor Soccer. There are users that want to be there. It is the premier ice arena of the whole Metro Detroit. We're booking new showcases. We are busy. We are busy there. And yes, we are collecting more than we're putting out. Again, if the compressors had oil changes and had belts and these things were done over the time, we'd be sitting really good right now. Unfortunately, we're always playing catch up with these capital improvements because nothing was done for 13 years.
What's your feelings for our future?
Well, here's a good point. Prior to Mayor Sellers, the building was up for sale for $5 or $6 million, which there was a big push. Today, we have a business model. And there's been people coming forward to purchase it at the 7, 8, 9, 10 million. Well, we have 14 million and some change of debt. So we'd like that $14 million number. However, we went from a potential cold storage building prior to Mayor Sellers to now an operating building that people want to buy, a tractable asset. So I think that's a huge victory for the city alone.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson?
And I don't disagree with that statement. I think another huge victory, I was there for the Kennedy High School graduation, got the march in that, which was pretty cool. But I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to walk in that building. I'm early to everything, usually, early. And I took a lot of pictures. I mean, the trash outside, I mean, I was embarrassed to go there. It was terrible. So that needs to be addressed.
I can tell you that we did a lot of new, we fixed the landscape, we did a lot of landscape and flowers.
I'll
We
forward
had
you
the
the
sweet,
pictures.
yeah, I'd like to see them. And we pride ourselves, we had 6 graduations, and unfortunately Kennedy was number 6 in the final exception. And there's no reason that it should have been like that, so I'll take full responsibility for that.
All right. Do you have like one? Oh, sure, go ahead.
Question. Recently, I asked some questions about you talked about a little bit about the barn, cart barn. Now, within that cart barn purchase and everything, there was an agreement made to transfer $122,000 worth of property for basically, not cash, but it was a switch for work done to help cover. Is that how that worked?
Third Chair, again, I'm not exactly familiar with the details, but I believe that's what it was like an in-kind.
Yes, correct.
Part of the construction process.
Is that a standard operating procedure for us to switch things so we can get work done or other work done?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayor?
on that particular site, if you recall, we did that twice. Half of it was split, and I think it was bartered with Al's Asphalt, and we got some paving work done, and then the other part of it was definitely part of the cart barn transfer. So, can't say it's standard practice, but that particular site, I believe, was a DNR acquisition, which the city of Taylor had little to no value in terms of acquiring the site.
That was about 9 acres, wasn't it?
I don't remember. But it was split into two and parted out with 2 different individual groups.
Mr. Richard, did you want to finish going through the summary, please?
Yes, if I may, through Chair, just also, if I may, just one more comment, when we were talking about the last item, it did involve just the golf courses, but basically what that's there, when we chose to put this in the budget amendment administration is, the amount, whatever the deficit's gonna be, it could be 100,000, 200,000, be 50,000, but what we would like, what we're trying to do is have that cushion in there, and we will only transfer the amount that we need to, so that we can stay up the deficit elimination plan, because what that does is it just kind of has more tendencies with the state bond holders, we have a plan in the deficit that just, again, it's common for communities to have funds that are potentially to be deficit to have to transfer from a general fund, so just letting you guys what that transfer is representing as a potential. We may not use any of it, but again, we may use some of it, that's why we're putting it as a year mark.